Parshas Vayetze, Tafshin Pei. I'm going to speak about something that seems to be a story, but has no depth. The depth is unreachable. Let's start in the Psukim. We're going to see something we all know very, very well. And you're going to see that the simple story makes no sense. Yaakov Avinu left Bereishis. He goes to Haran. His father told him to go there to find a wife, and he listens to him. In short, he's getting to Lavan. Lavan has two daughters, Shem Hagedoila Leah. The name of the older one is Leah, and the Shem Haketana, and the name of the youngster is Rachel. Just as an information, the Rachel HaKadosh says Leah was 20, Rachel was 5 years old. The Eine Leah, I'm going to go in question in general because there's too many questions in the Lashon of the Psukim. The eyes of Leah, rakos, they were soft. You know, it doesn't mean anything else than soft here. Why? Because she was crying. It doesn't say she was not beautiful. She could have been beautiful. Like the Torah is coming here to tell us what's the beauty of a woman. Or really, we're so interested in this. We're talking about the imahos, and you're going to see the huge thing that Leah has done and what she has taught us for generations. But Rachel Haisa, Yefas Toyar Vifas Mare, she was beautiful. So you're telling me basically, Yaakov Avinu is just one of the people in our generations. He's following his eyes, right? Because right away it says, Vayehav Yaakov es Rachel. Yaakov loved Rachel. The only thing you told me so far about Rachel is that she was beautiful. So I have to assume that the continuation means Yaakov liked her because she was beautiful. Vayomer, and he said, Evodcha sheva shanim, I'll work 7 years. Berachel bitcha Rachel, not anyone, your daughter Haktana, the small one. Don't tell me he changed the name of the older one and everything. Hashem HaKadosh says it because he wanted her to be 12 years old so she could bear children. Let me ask you a question. Why would Yaakov work 7 years ahead of getting married? He should have gotten married, take what you want, and then pay as installments. You don't pay as installments and then you get married. What if Chas v'Shalom, he would not remain alive? So everything he has done was for nothing. What if they change their minds? The couple doesn't want to keep on. So what's going on? This we're going to see on Shabbos. This is a Galia Raza that was the first point where HaKadosh Baruch Hu did to mislead Lavan. Very interesting. We have two huge tzaddikas, Leah and Rachel, from which all Bnei Israel are going to come out with the Bilam and Zilpah. Okay. And they are born in the worst of the places. They are born by the biggest witchcrafter that ever existed, Lavan, the biggest Russia. And though they managed to become tzaddikas, what's the secret? Then Rachel, the pasuk says that Vateri Rachel kilo yolada. Rachel thought that she was not having children to Yaakov. Vatekane Rachel ba'choisa. Rachel started envying her sister. These words, each one carries a load of and need to be explained. But just in general, because I'm going to go into a very specific point today. Vatemer Yaakov, she told Yaakov, Habali banim, give me children. Ve'im ayin, and if not, Mesa anochi, I'm dead. Because a person without children, the Gemara says in Nedarim Samech Dalet, is considered dead. I can't understand the end. I cannot understand the beginning. Vatere, it's not that she need not have children. That's not what the pasuk says. Look at this. Vatere Rachel, she saw kilo yolda le Yaakov. She's not talking about herself. She's talking because she didn't bear children for Yaakov. What does this mean? The im ayin meisa anochi is someone that doesn't bear children, but not that doesn't bear children to Yaakov. That's not what the Gemara says. So what is the touch of this pasuk? Then Yaakov reacts in a way that Elam Ephraim speak. Vayicharaf Yaakov berachel. He got angry. I should never translate this. He got angry, whatever. But this is what the Pshat Pashut. Vayomer asachas Elohim anochi. And am I at the place of God? Yes, Yaakov, you are. Not only Elohim, Vayikra Eloi kel Eloike Yisrael. The Midrash said, Yaakov, HaKadosh Baruch Hu called Yaakov kel, way higher, seven floors higher than Elohim. Elohim is in the Malchus, kel is in the Chesed, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, you are a God in the Elyonim, in the upper worlds, I'm the God in the lower world. When Yaakov was dreaming, on the Sulam, he saw on the Kisei HaKavod, the Malachim was saying, oh my gosh, he said, look, that's the image of that person that's on the Kisei HaKavod. Yaakov reached a level, it's unbelievable. How did he reach that level? We would like to know if we can break down the road so we can understand and we can do the same. I mean, it's very nice to tell us great things about the Avos HaKadoshim, but we would like to know, we would like to imitate them. We may not reach their level, we will not reach their level, for sure not, but we want to be on the same path. We want to make them proud, but we need to understand where is that path. And you're telling your wife that you can do nothing? Oh, yes, you can do plenty, Yaakov Avinu. You can turn around the whole Midas Adin, because when someone doesn't have children, it means it's Midas Adin on her. She suffers, Rachel. She has sacrificed her life. She became the Malchus. The name of the Malchus, the true name of the Malchus, is Rachel. This is how high she elevated herself. She is Shomer Yisrael, not Shomer Ishmael. Shomer Yisrael till end of time. Koil barama nishma nehi bechisamrurim. On every galus Rachel Imenu, every tzara to the Am Yisrael, Rachel Imenu goes before Hashem, and Hashem remembers the chesed she has done. To such a woman, you want to say, Asachas Elohim anoichi. What are you saying, Yaakov, in this sentence? Anyway, that's for Shabbos. Here today. Vahi ba'boiker. So she got married at night. Very, very interesting midrashim here, but we have to keep a path. It's already long enough without going sideways. Vahi ba'boiker, it was in the morning. Vehinehi Leah. Vahi ba'boiker, vehinehi Leah. You want to tell me that he's seen her? He recognized her? Vehine Leah. What's Vehinehi Leah, Vayhi Baboiker? No, Vayar Yaakov, or something like this. Vayomer Lavan, he said to Lavan, Mazos Asisali, what did you do to me? Haloi Berachel Avati Imach Velamari Misani. I worked for you, for Rachel. And why did you play me out? Halacha wise, very simple. Yaakov Avinu. You didn't want Leah, right? You wanted Rachel. That's what you're saying here. So the marriage is null and void. The kiddushin are betelim. Just tell her to go. Who forces you to keep her? There's no halacha you mechuyev to keep her. Oh, you don't send her away. Why? Why don't you send her away if you're unhappy? If what you wanted is Rachel, why do you keep Leah? You have the right under halacha that the kiddushin, they're not chalim. The kiddushin are not good kiddushin. That's not a chuppah and kiddushin. This is all bottle, because in your mind, when you said Ariat Mekudeshes Li and everything, you had in mind that under this you had Rachel, but now you find out it's Leah, so it's mekechtos. Then, wow, we have, again, strong words. And that's where I'm going to concentrate today, because this is where we're going to find out the side of Leah. Vayar Hashem. Hashem saw, because no one else knew. Kisenua Leah. Leah was hated. So, in return, Vayiftach es Rachma, he opened her womb, for Rachel Akara. Understandable, the thing when Rachel is being punished. What has she done? But now, because, so some people love to say, and this is Shtusim Vahavalim, that he loved Rachel more than Leah, so that difference of love between Rachel and Leah can be translated in Sina, hated. You don't use the word Sina for that. Snua is a very strong word. To hate. These are very strong words. So don't kvetch me in the word. It has to be clear. When we're going to explain it, it's going to make so much sense. How is it possible that the tzaddik that deserved to be a god can even have within him any level of midah of sinner? It's possible to say on Yaakov Avinu. The Bichir Sheba Abbas, he was complete Yaakov Avinu. It's not going to be a complicated share today, but it's going to be quite a bit of data, but a very, very strong main line with a huge message. Huge. So and everything will come back to place, and the psukim you're going to see, they have a total different touch. Nothing from what nothing what we explain. Zohar Kodesh, let's take the Zohar Kodesh and jump in right away. Asks a question. Huge question. The Gemara in Nedarim says that there are 9 types of situations when a person should not have children with his wife. For instance, when he hates her. Now all of a sudden he has a need, so he says, she may fall pregnant. The child will be incomplete because the hatred you have within you will be translated in the child in a bgam. Somewhere in his mind is not going to be good. Ask the Zohar Kodesh. How could Yaakov have children with Leah? If indeed he didn't like her, then they called Bnei Senua. the children of a hated wife. And we know, the Zohar says, they never come out good, but the Shvatim, they came out perfect. How is it possible? The Zohar comes here and starts the dance. It says, there are two worlds. The revealed world and I don't know how to call it. What's the opposite of revealed? And the hidden world. You have in this world, God created the world in 6 days and Shabbos. So we have, which means he created it with 7 spheres: Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchus for Shabbos. 7. We call this the exposed world, whatever we can call it, the accessible. We know, we see every day. It's something that's, in other words, it's a world we understand, and with the Das, we can access and actually play with the different midas, because we understand what triggers them and we understand their strength and we can apply it. However, as soon as we go above, which is the Bina, this is the hidden world. It has, we call it the Olam HaYovel. You have 7 years is a Shemitah, which is what we call this world. And the 50th years times 7 plus 1. It's the hidden world. That's how we refer to the hidden world. Says the Zohar HaKodesh, we don't mean here that she was hated. It means she was hidden. She was so high, she was hidden that even Yaakov Avinu could not grasp the greatness of Leah. Wow. That's a statement. And somehow, I don't know how to translate me in Hebrew, snua, into hidden world. I don't see there's a few dots for myself, and I don't know how to breach them. But that's what the Zohar says. However, we saw on the next pasuk, Vayhi baboiker vehinehi Leah, and she is Leah. He goes complain to Lavan, but he doesn't send away Leah. Why not? Something happened to Yaakov. The Zohar says, Vayhi baboiker means that he had an enlightenment. Vehinehi Leah. Now I understand who is Leah. Oh, that's how we're going to start kvetching? Fine. Let's go back in the pasuk. Where's this pasuk? Let's take, just to start, Vayhi baboiker, what the Zohar, sometimes I need numbers to understand what the Zohar says. Equals 335. Equals Har Sinai. Oh, nice. Interesting. Har Sinai, the Torah, No, we're not here for that here. We have to understand, what is the Zohar saying he had an enlightenment? We know that Har equals 205. And we know one thing also, if I take The Bina, the mother, had 7 children, 6 boys and 1 girl. Oh, exactly like Leah. She had Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zebulun, Dinah. Interesting. Leah is up in the Bina, hidden. Yaakov and Rachel are here. Rachel is in the Malchus. Leah is here, hidden world. And Yaakov represents all this. Even though he's in the Tiferes more, but this shows you already. So now the mother, father, mother, Abba, Ima. Together they had all these children. So Yaakov and Rachel are considered the children of, and each one has a name. There's a Shem with which the Bina created each of the 6 spheres. In other words, when we say Bereishis bara, be, with the Bina, the Zohar said, if you remember. Bara, Elohim, all this was created by the Bina. Now that we say that, so we know the first 6 midas of were created by the Bina. Kehye, which is the Keser of Kucha Berichu, of, let's call him Yaakov, okay, of Yaakov. Yud K is in the Chochma of Yaakov. Yud K Vav K, it's the Bina of Yaakov. Then we have Chesed, Kel, of Yaakov. Gvura, Elohim, of Yaakov. And then we have Tiferes, Yud Ke Vav Ke again. All this equals the Har. This is the mountain. Okay, I'm not here to explain you after that Har Sinai. Now, if we take Sinai, this equals to 130. Equals to Yaakov saw a sulam, and it's written without a vav, just like this. Now Yaakov is going to understand what he saw in his dream. He could not understand what he saw in his dream. Yud, hey, Yud, hey, vav, Yud, hey, vav, hey. The back of Shema, the back of Yaakov Avinu. Basically, he realizes that what makes him stand is Leah. Why is he here today? It's because of Leah. We're going to see what she's done. And he's going to realize also that he cannot without her, because she is his spine. She is what hold him together, but also for Rachel. Because if we take this, that interesting language, Vehinehi Leah equals 114. So the name in the Bina is the Shamsag, right? For those who understand that. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, written like this. The one in the Malchus is by Rachel, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. That's the enlightenment Yaakov Avinu realized. Without Leah, there's no Yaakov, there's no Rachel. Okay, it's still raw because, we didn't explain all the thing to reattach this, but now we're starting seeing a total different image than I don't like you, you don't like me, you look beautiful, you look less beautiful, you have your eyes like this and your eyes like this. That's how we're not in there at all. We're talking And why it's Har Sinai? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed. There was a revelation on Har Sinai. That's why the Zohar says, Vayhi Boiker talks about insinuate a revelation. And now we see that it all translates in the name of Hashem, which are supporting the 6 midas, which we call Yaakov, which is Kudsha Berichu, and the midah also of Malchus, which is Rachel. In other words, all of a sudden he has an enlightenment, Yaakov Avinu, and he realizes that Leah controls the world. Wow, what's she done? You know, she has a sister. Why is not a sister there? We know what tremendous thing Rachel did. She sacrificed her life, her husband, everything. You know, but Leah is the one that deserved it, not Rachel. I'm going to explain a fundamental thing here. Honestly, huge. I'm going to try to avoid. I thought about giving you a lot more but I'm thinking that I'm going to stay now that I started the course. I'm going to stay so not to lose you with side vaults or even great gematrias. I'm going to go straight to the point. The Zohar in Pasha Shmois describes the Rachmanus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's great when all Am Yisrael are tzaddikim, yes. So we know, from the Temer Devera, because we know how to do the right things, the right maisim, so you know how to trigger the bracha from the spheres. That's easy. What's not easy is when we are not. Because at the end of the day, we're still human. We can't take too much pain. We can't take too much the midas hadin. And Bnei Israel, they're on the, basically on the door step. When the door opens or closes, they get banged. No matter what, we get banged both ways. And we can't take it. So there must be somewhere to let go for the fury of the midas hadin. So Rebbe Elazar, the son of Rabbi Bar Yochai, tells us, come and see how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu is merachem on his children. That when he sees that Am Yisrael is under duress because the midas hadin is full-fledged on them, HaKadosh Baruch Hu drops 2 tears in the Yam HaGadol. I am not going to translate this now because I don't want to translate this in the big ocean. Sorry. Because it's the Zohar will give the touch of what is Yam HaGadol. There's a machloikes in the Zohar. So this comes from the Gemara, basically in Brachos, Nun Tei Samud Aleph, that Rav Katina was on his way in Eretz Yisrael. All of a sudden, there were 2 earthquakes. Like, mamish one on top of the other. So you had to be a chacham to know there were 2 earthquakes. So, Arpatinas, asked the people around, does someone knows why these earthquakes have happened? And a guy comes out of his house, which the Gemara describes as being a witchcrafter using bones of dead people. He says, I'll tell you what happened. He said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu dropped, when he sees that Bnei Yisrael under duress and they can't take it anymore, he drops 2 tears in the Yam HaGadol. And when those tears from HaKadosh Baruch Hu come down in the ocean, the earth cannot take it and scared and shakes. So Rab Katina, because we cannot empower those people, he says, you're chakran, and everything they do, because he was afraid that if he was going to validate what he said, people would say, oh, he knows, so we're going to go to him. And it's so they're right to go to people who use witchcraft like this. So Rabbi Yosef told Belazar, this is not true, this story about HaKadosh Baruch Hu dropping 2 tears, because this we heard in the Gemara from the witchcrafter. Belazar told him, it's true. It's very true. What he didn't want to say in the Gemara, he didn't want to admit it. It's only because not to mislead people after that. But in truth, and he explains what it is. I'm not going to explain it clearly. Okay. When we say the Midas Adin comes out, where is the Midas Adin coming from? Between these two. Netzach and Hoid both agree that there was enough sins. We're not going to let them go above. Automatically, we trigger Midas Adin to punish, so the level would go down. So Netzach and Hoid are also called the Demois, the tears. They're the one who have the responsibility in order to trigger. So, for instance, you see the word Hoid a lot in Megillah Seicha. And Netzach Israel lo yeshaker. Netzach stands for Israel as long as you don't lie. But if people start using their mouth and foul, dirty it and start saying all kind of diburim asurim, Netzach doesn't stand because it's Netzach Israel lo yeshaker. So from in between these two, they clash like a silex, and boom, the sparkle goes, got to burn, and the levels got to go down. But when HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees that Bnei Israel cannot take it anymore, I tell these 2 guys, come up. He takes them into the Chokhmah, which is called the Yam HaGod. And here it's totally chesed. And they go deep in there. And once they go into the chesed, automatically Midas Adin goes away. That's the chesed what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does. So now when it says, you're right, it says the Gemara says the Lashon, I don't know why this one is, it makes me turn the page. It says, Moiri Demais. And me, I explained it, it goes up. How much is Moiri? Just so you to show. It's 260. We're talking all in hints here. I mean, what is 260? 10 times Yud Ke Vav Ke. So the full Midas Arachmim comes down, takes these 2 Midas, which we call the Ma'is, and we bring them up to the Chokhmah, dip them a little bit into the Chesed. So they get a different, I don't know, I'll show it any other way. Shtei Demais, just to show you that it's an image. 2 Demais, 1230. We need this in the middle. And we have Yud Ke Vav. No, sorry. It's the oddness. Need this again. Here goes back, and now we have Yitzchak. This is the side of mitukadin completely. Chesed on one side, you see, they're not aligned the normal way. And the rachmim completely goes on the other side and suffocates the midas adin. This is where midas adin says, I'm out, I'm leaving, I don't want any part of it, you suffocate me. This is how, and we see time after time, we're going to see that thing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they're going to give us an image, but behind it, there's a lot of chok. Now, how does HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring, okay, we saw Midas Rachmim come, but how does it start? We want to know the beginning of the road. We explain the end of the road. Yes, we understand the outcome. But I would love to be able to use that road. Where is it? How do I get into that road? That road is in the Yud Gimel Midas Derachmim. It's called Noitzer Chesed Lo Alafim. Noitzer Chesed Lo Alafim equals 603, equals Bnei Yisrael. This midah is the midah for Bnei Yisrael. In other words, when a person doesn't merit, doesn't deserve a chesed from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he is in a tough situation, he should not give up. That's why all the Rebbes tell you there's no reason to be misyash, because there's a net. And this net is called Noitzer Chesed Lo Alafim. So now when you daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you say, okay, I know I don't deserve, but it's not a reason to punish me. I can't anymore. Please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look at the midah of Noitzer Chesed Lo Alafim. You created for Am Yisrael. Use it for me. Oh, now all of a sudden you have a merit in Shamayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will create a chesed. Okay, start having a little bit of a picture here that Leah, but we're still seeing only the outcome. We have to dig in order to get to the beginning of what she has done and what has she deserved to be in the Bina. That's what fascinated me. Rachel Imeinu, with all the Maisim Toivim she has done, she deserved to be in the Malchus. But Leah, which we don't know much about her, she deserved to be 8 meters higher than her sister. What has she done? We need to know, because the Midrash says that Leah was destined to be married to Esau. People used to say, but the Zohar says it very clearly, she was Bechelkoi Shel Esau. 2 boys, Rivka had 2 boys, Lavan had 2 girls, the older with the older, and the younger with the younger. Yaakov, Rachel, Esau, Leah. So now we're going to see that not only Leah will be able to purge herself from such a Gzar that was destined already 40 days before, when the baby was conceived, that she was the Zivug of Esau. And she has nothing to do with Yaakov. And she will deserve to become the wife of Yaakov. She will deserve to have 6 boys and 1 daughter. Basically, the whole entire world is relying on the schus of Leah. That's what the whole entire world is relying upon. What did she do in order to deserve such a huge? You know that Leah is above Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. This is fascinating. I mean, this is not comprehensible. I mean, Avraham with all this chesed, Yitzchak, and the kiyum of the Torah and everything, and Leah is in the Bina. Avraham is in the chesed, even though it's not really true because you have to know how to play with the worlds. But at least to a certain degree, if we don't want to go all the way up in Atzilus, that's how it comes out. What has she done? The Zohar in Parsha Shmois, Chaf Amud Aleph, analyzes the different languages we have in the Torah for tefillah. We have tzeaka, screaming. We have, you mean going to the forest and scream? Hold your breath till the end of the shir, you'll understand. Shava, beseeching, begging. Anacha, to sigh. Vayanchu bnei Yisrael min avodah. They were so tired from the work. Vayanchu, decided. Says the Zohar HaKadosh, when someone, even if you come with a broken heart, and you come to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, your tefillah only reaches the Malchus. Shar Hashem. Zei Hashar Hashem. Then Malachim are going to be taking your tefillah and smell it. Fully truthful from the beginning to the end, it goes up one level. So now you're in the Yesod. From the Yesod, Hoid to the Netzach, Netzach to the Tiferes, Tiferes to Aslan. And then it's rejected if it's not to the level of going to the Bina. It's totally rejected. But the Zohar says that if you daven through tzeaka, then your tefillah goes directly. There's no intermediary here. There's nothing. There's nobody, no malchus, nobody. Boom, to Leah in the Bina. So what do I have to do? So every day we have to daven in screaming. That's what the Torah tells us here. The Zohar explains that the secret of the tzeaka is you are so overwhelmed by your pain, by what you're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you can't even say, you can't even make a sound. Tzeaka is quiet, not a sound, but in your heart, it's your neshama is screaming inside. Nobody sees on the outside, but your neshama is screaming. That's the tefillah. That means that's the tefillah with the lev, with the heart. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. That the tefillah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu accepts, says the Zohar HaKadosh. And all the Tanaim are going to fight to give one more mile to this and one more mile to this. And I wanted to tell you what they say because you understand what it means. This is a complete tefillah, fully complete. Nothing's missing. There's no need to smell it. Malachim are even scared to touch it. This is a tefillah that only Hashem deserved by a melech malchi amlachim, no one else. Says Rabbi Yehuda, Even if a person had the Gzardin on 70 years of his life that he had to have, it's a curse. Davening one tefillah like this takes the Gzardin and shreds it. Says Rabbi Yitzchak, no matter what din comes down of the person, if he goes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if he addresses HaKadosh Baruch Hu to Tzedakah, Tzedakah controls and rules the Midas Hadin. I'm going to explain exactly how things are working. I don't like to have about stuff me. I need to know a road. I need to have my ways. I know exactly where I'm going. And Rabbi Yosef says, Tzedakah, tefillah of tzedakah, gives the person oilam hazeh and oilam haba. Let's take it one step at a time. We know that Midas Hadin sends the klippos, mashchis, af, and chema, the destroyer and the type of angers, and they have a kvittel in their hand. I have rishos from Shamayim to carry this and this din on that person. The guy is sitting, he already gave him a couple of slaps, just warming him up. He's getting ready for the main dish. All of a sudden come the tzedakah of that person. Why would these klippos run away? What happened? Okay, he did great, but now he has a din to pay. The kvittel came out. How can you go retroactively, make it as it never happened? That's the side of what the Zohar says here. He goes up, his tzedakah goes up to the Bina. The Bina hears one of her children calling upon her through tzedakah. Right away, the big eagle spreads its wings. Wherever he is, he's under the wings of the Bina. What happens when the wings of the Bina ufros aleinu sukkah shaloimecha, and spread over us the sukkah of shalom? How do we have shalom? Is when we don't have Midas Hadin, we at peace. So what do we need? We need the Bina to spread wings. That's what we say in Mariv on every night in Ashkivenu. Have the Bina spread its wings on us, and now we're going to have a sukkah shalom. We're free of all the problems of and the sorcerers and all the Mitzrayim, the Metzarim, everything you want to call it. We're free of them. In other words, tzedakah triggers sukkah shalom. Can't finish sharing. The wings, what happens then? The oil of the Bina is so strong, then the life now of the klippos is in danger. Yes, they have the paper. But you know what they can do with this? They can either coughen up and say, okay, but they're going to be burned to ashes with the oil of the Bina. So what they do, they run away into the Gehinnom, into the seventh. The oil of the Bina reaches the seventh level of Gehinnom. So they go all the way down and hide. And if anyone stays out, decimated. Becomes thin air, disappears. So their papers and themselves, they drop the paper and they just run for their lives. This is the mechanism how the tzedakah breaks the Midas Hadin. Now there's no more anyone, there's no prosecution anymore. Baruch Hu says, the din is, as in Cheshem Mishpat, if there's no teveya, nitva is the defendant. There's no din. Period. Give him what he wants. To the point that Sefer HaChasidim says, even a person that is not really worthy, that is not Mekayim the Torah, that's Sefer HaChasidim. We're not talking about Vetlech and Kvetches and everything. This is Torah L'Moshe Misinai. If he davens to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to Te'aka, anything he asks in it, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will do for him. We're not looking at the merits anymore. So the Zohar will go on and bring tons of rise to this, but one for you that you know, and we're going to come out soon. Vitzah b'nei Yisrael min ha'avodah. Oh, finally they understood. Take the midah of our mother Leah. Vayitz'aku, they screamed. Vayishma Elokim esnar kasam. Right away, HaKadosh Baruch Hu heard. From this tzeaka on, avodah stopped. They were in Mitzrayim, but Mitzrayim could do nothing for. It's a very, I want to call it a magical word. Mitzrayim has so many facets. It calls from tsarus, tsar. You know, they choke you. You can't breathe anymore. You stress. Anyone who's within this is in Ben HaMetzarim, in the 3 weeks between Yud Zayin Tammuz and Tisha B'Av. Like we're not comfortable. We're not ourselves. These are days of the Satan. And this is what it does to us. So many times in life, we're going through these times, through these situations, and this is called Mitzrayim. This is a little bit of the shibud of Mitzrayim. But Se'aka says the Zohar HaKadosh. I mean, I'm going to take it from the Midrash. It's going to be a bit shorter. Says the Midrash, when Leah heard from these people that she's destined to marry Esau, she used to ask, what does she do? What does he do? He's a reitzayach. He tricks people. People hate him. He is the worst animal that earth has ever carried. To the point that Midrash last week was saying that when Rivka went to get buried, she asked the helpers to only take her at night so people don't start talking when her bier passes. Oh, that's the mother of this Esau, the cursed Esau. That's the mother. That's the one who carried that and brought us that problem to the world. That's why the Midrash says Yitzchak Avinu became blind. So he cannot go out of his tent. So he cannot hear people talking about his son. So she heard all this, Leah. And she was crying. She was so every day, morning and evening, she was going to Parashas Drachim, to the crossroads where people travel back and forth and used to ask about Esau. I want to ask you a question. We're talking about huge tzaddikas here, beyond anything we can comprehend. David HaMelech said, Kol kevoda bas melech penima. Where is the kavod of a bas melech to be? The princess is in the house. What is she doing in Parashas Drachim? What is she doing out where everybody sees and she talks to everybody? How many times does she has to hear about Esau? She has to ask everyone. They're repeating the same thing. You know who Esau is. So why are you out there asking people? But the Midrash is going to blow our minds. And because of this, she deserved what she did not have, meaning being the wife of the tzaddik and before her sister, and carry more children than her sister. And why didn't her sister deserve it? Because she was not out in Parshas Derachim and Davening. You read the Midrash in Pashtus, you say, okay, I don't understand. In contrary, If Rachel was inside, you should command her. Because that's where Bas Melech should be. Not a cheap woman that's outside the whole time. And you, Leah, your whole attitude, your whole behavior is not understandable. Why would you go from morning to evening on the process? What would you do? Okay, you always say something. Okay, don't you know the process already? One day you did it. But in truth, we have also a parallel situation which is upside down. When Yaakov came to the bear, who did he meet? Rachel. What was she? A shepherd. But remember what we started the share with. She was 7 years old, 5 years old. And she has a sister. So Esau didn't have his boys yet. Only when Yaakov came, did he start getting the bracha and having boys. So now you have a 20 years old versus a 5 years old. Who's more responsible? Who's less in danger? The older one. So why didn't Leah become the Reah? Why didn't Leah become the shepherd? How come Rachel became the shepherd? Makes no sense. So we have these two stories, basically, that Tanaim gives us like this, but we know there's a lot of depth here. We're going to go a little bit inside the... Let's go into the... Anchor everything up a little bit so we don't stay up just with words. We have this word that the Midrash Taich, she hated Esau. The only problem I have here is the tense is not correct. Because when she heard in the Parshas Drachim at the crossroads what Esau was, she hated him. I don't know, I should have said and because of that, she hated the Maisim of Esau, she deserved the tzad. Oh, sorry. 361, 362. I'm not there yet. I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to take this one. The other question I'm going to answer just about the same subject is when she had Shimon, she said a different language. And this is going to trigger those who started learning the Otzros Chaim and they remember something. Like in Shara Nekudim, Shara Akudim, Perek Dalet. Maybe someone will remember. It says, Vayara Hashem. Hashem saw, means through the eyes. But when she had Shimon, she said the same thing. Ki shoma, ki senua onoichi. Hashem heard, because it says Hashem. Hashem heard that I was hated. We cannot answer one, and Shmiya is the ears. The oil of the ears is above this is in the Nekudim, the oil, remember. Now I'm talking just for some guys. It's the oil of the Nekudim. This is the oil of the Akudim, so it's much higher. And the Bina is Shmiya. So we cannot, if we explain one pasuk, we have to be explained to the second pasuk. Vayar Hashem ki senua Leah equals 671. Equals, it's Tara. Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud. Basically equals Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, in full. Leah, her place is in the Malchus of the Bina. Rachel is in the Malchus, down there. Leah is in the Malchus of the Bina. Okay, it's great to have found still the words. Don't work with that, okay? And we're going to have to make them work. We're going to have to understand. Who says, Senua 362. So this is the key word which going to give us the meaning of the sentences here in the psukim. So we have to be extremely careful. I have to be very careful how I'm going to present it. In Bein HaMetzarim, in those 3 weeks between Yud Zayin, Tammuz, till Tisha B'Av, there's certain kavanas we have in the first 3 brachas. When we say Baruch Ato Hashem Magen Avram, the way we think about the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, it's not Yud Kei Vav Kei is Rachim. There's no Rachim at that time, so we go with Atbash. Aleph, so we write Tav. So we hide the letters. So it's called Mat. If you do this, it's called Matzpat. It's a Yud Kei Vav Kei translated through a table, first letter with last letter, second letters with second to last, third letter with third to last, and fourth like this. So when you go Yud becomes Mem, Hey becomes Tzadik, Vav becomes Pei, and Hey becomes Tzadik. So it's Matzpas, it's Yud Kei Vav Kei. When we say Mechaya Amesim, Vachato Hashem Mechaya Amesim, we take the word Keye and we're gonna take the letters before. Sorry, Yud Kei Vav Kei, Tes is before Yud. Hey, Dalet is before Hey. Vav, Hey. So instead of Yud Kei Vav Kei, we've been taking the letters before the Yud Kei Vav Kei, and in Atar Kodesh we'll do the same thing, but with the letters after. After Yud is Chaf. After Hey is Vav. After Vav is Zayin. After Hey is Vav. This equals 362. In other words, it only reflects a situation of critical, I don't want to call it strangulation, but it strangulates. It means you are in a very, very, very dear situation that the person has no room to go either right, either left. Like Bilam, when the Malach took him in the corner and he couldn't go either right or left. This is where it's considered a situation when the person, needs to daven with the fashion of Leah. And when he does this, equals Yeshua. The Yeshua comes. Now, this is what we have in the pasuk. Vayar Hashem kisenu Leah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw how much he was stressing Leah, the rishus of Esav, genuinely, that she was really crying and beseeching HaKadosh Baruch Hu with se'aka in her heart. She got to Yeshua. It's almost, you would have said, Vayar Hashem kisenua el Leah. This behavior is disgusting to Leah. Automatically, this is the yichud of the 3 weeks. and creates Yeshua. Takes away Ben HaMitzarim. It's almost Mitzrayim, Mitzarim is the same letters. It's only the punctuation that's different. So if we could be in Mitzrayim and the Tzedakah takes us out, you can be in any Mitzarim, between any frontiers, in any situation, and he will take you out. There's no way the Yeshua won't come when a person davens this way. It's a guarantee that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will respond. The Zohar says that his tefillah will not come back empty. I mean, I can mention you, I wrote, just for me also to remember and to have for other people, the touch of so many Talmidim of Dari HaKodesh on this particular point. How great and how big. So now we have Leah. She didn't say a word to anyone. She didn't pretend to be on the outside, but she was in a room. She was, we haven't answered everything yet, okay? I understand that. But it will blow your mind now where we're getting, because we're already getting deep. So we trigger the Yeshua. But I just said Leah was in her room crying by herself with that tzedakah. The tzedakah is when, how do I know I have the correct tzedakah? Is when you're choking. You can't even say a word. Now you're in tzedakah. It's not like the guy who goes in the forest and gives you a heart attack because he didn't know he was behind a tree and he's starting having bdidas and he screams like a heck out of it. Something happened to him, and your blood freezes. No, that's not tzedakah. That's mishagas. What tzedakah is when the Zohar says when a person cannot even talk. You can be in front of people and have a tzedakah, and nobody realizes. Yaakov Avinu didn't see it. She was living with tzedakah with that pain of not having we asked the question, what was tzadekes like Leah being the Parshas Drachim, because that's the trigger that gave her the merit to deserve Yaakov and the children, and the punishment to Rachel that didn't deserve that. She didn't go to Parshas Drachim. And we asked the question, Kol kevoida bas melech penima. The proper place for a princess is inside, indoors, not outdoors. What is Chazal telling us with this Parshas Drachim? Since it's a word we didn't use much, I'm going to put I'm going to boilize it. This equals 1,254. Because obviously Chazal, didn't vouch for Leah to go out and expose herself in front of people and asking all these people. This equals 3 times Noitzer Chesed. Olam Asiyah, she asked in Olam Asiyah, she was not satisfied when she got to Olam Yetzirah, not satisfied. She went to Olam HaBeriyah, where the Bina is. That's how far she went. 3 times Noitzer Chesed. And if you think it's a coincidence, okay. We already explained HaKadosh Baruch Hu when Bnei Israel need, that's the midah, Noitzer Chesed La'alofim, right? So she went right into that midah with her tzedakah. Look at this. This equals 418. Equal Bas Zug. That's how she became the Bas Zug of Yaakov. It's not, when you daven, be specific. Don't be encyclopedic. Encyclopedic, you don't achieve nothing. There is one meter when you pull, it's the jackpot. So go to the jackpot. Don't. Some people are scared. No, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm not going to ask. Because I'll say when HaKadosh Baruch Hu open his hand, ask for a lot. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is not limited in size. So he can give a lot. Because of the midah of Noitzer Chesed, she was able to even change the mazel. A person has a crappy mazel. Nothing that he does works. Don't give up. Don't give up. You have a recourse. Tzeaka, especially if you cry, especially if it's with tshuva. That's the most complete tshuva, by the way. Tzeaka, Bechia, and tshuva. This is the most complete tshuva that completely erases everything. Everything. And makes him, the Zohar and Pashas Truma said, such a nachas ruach HaKadosh Baruch Hu he makes, that he turned the bitter into the sweet. It's unbelievable. He's considered the tzaddik yesod olam. Oh, I just cried HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I haven't made yet tshuva. I didn't expiate my son, you don't have nothing else to do. What you have achieved right now, you completed it. You're tzaddik yesod olam in an instant. Ze koino olam b'sha'achas. That's the people that within an instant, they can be koine the whole entire olam haba as if they had toiled like the biggest of the tzaddikim within an instant. Tzedakah doesn't have to be for 2 hours. Okay, Rabbi, how long do we have the tzedakah? Just have it. It could go a spike like this. It could be a bit longer, but it doesn't have to be. It's going to ruin your nerves and you're not going to be able to redo it. It has to be a moment. Catch it. Save it. Boom. Go for it. It's going to go in a spike of 3 seconds. You did the tzedakah. And in my mind, my tzedakah goes to the midah of Noitzer Chesed. She was able to change from Esav to Yaakov. That's how she deserved Yaakov, and that's how she stayed. And that's how Yaakov realized that she's handling now all the 7 midas that he needs to finish and acquire. We need her. We need her for the Malchus. The Malchus needs the mother because the Yudke Vavke of the Malchus is Yoinek, suckles from the Yudke Vavke of the Bina, the Shemsag. All right. Let's kind of verify what we say. It's not this. This equals to 940. If I wanted to keep you for half an hour and tell you gematrias on this 940, it would be till tomorrow. Huge number. 2 times 470. Huge number. Gematria ace. 10 times Yud Kevavke, 10 times Keye, Amalek in full, whatever. I can go on till tomorrow with this. But for our subject, sorry again. Look how wrote Yaakov. 5 times in the Torah, it's written Yaakov in full. This is the vav that we're going to take back from Esau B'achris Hayamim. And then Yaakov will be forever written like this. But only Bezachat is Berisi Avram is Berisi Yitzchak is Berisi Yaakov. In that pasuk in Vayikra, it's written with a vav. And this is the haftacha we have of the Geula. And Yaakov sees his completion. So we have 5 chasadim. So the 5 midas can only be done through Leah. Kishoma, now, what's the connection here? I'm going to give it to you. And now everything will come into place. Senua Anoichi is where the magical side relies. This equals 443. Equals a thing we've seen already. Nachash Mila. Remember that when the baby is born, he's a shed, so he has the nachash inside and the sam outside. Sorry, it's the opposite. The sam inside and the nachash outside. And when someone is not shomer the bris, so automatically the yud of the shakai is going and he becomes a shed again. So which tells us that he has the nach. She couldn't stand that midah. Someone who's not shomer on his kedusha, it was by her, it was disgusting. And because of this, she told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you can't put me in the hand. I'm a tzadekes, I cannot receive someone who's so tummy. It's impossible. HaKadosh Baruch Hu truly saw that she was genuine, that she did not want to go with someone who was metame himself. For this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave her Yaakov, who was shomer the bris. And in order to have that, she had to go all the way to the Bina, and she went all the way to the Bina. I'm almost done. I'm sorry. It's a bit longer than usual, but it's a huge. This can save life. You can be on your own in a place. You can ask for help or whatever. Don't panic. Someone is happening. Don't panic. You need a Yeshua above natural. You can trigger it from wherever you are. Just gather your thoughts. Gather your thoughts and understand. Hakol kol Yaakov. Our words, our thoughts are much more powerful than even the Yodayim of Esau. Whatever they do, if no matter what it is, the Yeshua you're looking for, it will happen immediately. The Malchus is, we'll see this, if I talk about this, I'm probably going to talk this year. I want to talk about Yehuda and Samar. I love that subject. This whole Maaseh, which is, she also went to Pesach Einayim. It's a very interesting expression we find sometime in the Torah. At the gates, it's like it's on the crossroads, whatever, or it's supposed to be. No, she went at the doorstep of the eyes. What he means? So the Ramak in Sefer HaPardes says, we're talking about the Malchus here. Pesach Einayim is the name of the Malchus. So when you see that it says in the Torah they went to Pesach Einayim, it means they access the Malchus. They know how to access the Malchus. So that's Rachel Imeinu. What's the burden now after all this to Rachel Imeinu? In the simple words of that midrash that we had so many questions that we were ready to close and say we don't understand, there is everything. This equals 68. Equals Mabul, Haflaga, Enosh, and Sdom. The 4 generations that sin. What again she was, Rachel? We asked the question. The sister was 20 and she was the Roya, right? She was the shepherd. Roya est sein Lavan, the flock of her father. And we asked, why her? You're going to understand why her. Because they all have seen. Ra, we know it's the bris. So these letters are Ra, Vav, He. They intermingle, the other two, the two snakes, with the Vav, He. And she was the only one able to separate them. That's why she was really off. And who was in the tzon of Lavan? Someone remembers?
Neshamas.
Which neshamas?
B'nai Yisrael.
Which were? From the
From
4
its side?
generations.
Yeah.
So these neshamas, that's why he was in the tzon. She was responsible for the tzon because these neshamas come back in Gilgul into the flock of Lavan, and they're going to turn into the Bnei Yisrael. They're going to be born in Mitzrayim. They were taken with Yaakov when he went down to see Yosef to Mitzrayim, and these are the 4. And Rachel Imenu is in charge of the Bnei Yisrael down here, and that's why she's at the Pesach Enaim at the door, always looking out for the Bnei Yisrael. When they went to Babel, they stopped on her kever. When Yosef went down to Mitzrayim, he stopped at her kever and he cried. And she's there and answering to each one. And how do we know that? Because Pesach Enaim is also equals to Midas Adin when it, I hate it. Pesach Enaim equals Midas Adin when the Midas Adin is full and Bnei Yisrael are in Golus, and we had 4 Goluyos, Bavel, Madai, Yavan, and Edom. That's the job of Rachel Imenu. And we need Leah in order to protect Rachel when she comes down to help us during these and that's the side Vayhi ba'boiker vehinehi Leah. And Vayar Hashem kisenua Leah. No, don't touch me stories here that she was hated, that he didn't like her, that there was a difference between the love. This is not Torah. Torah is understanding and make it, because if it says that in one pasuk, why did you change the lashon? And we saw from the 2 psukim how we've learned. At the end of the day, through these psukim, we got the revelation of how Leah reached her greatness, because Teaka and Bechia, and there's a haftacha. It doesn't depend upon merits. It depends if you can do it. And you do it, guaranteed Yeshua right away. Baruch Adonai Elohim, amen v'amen.